there, I'm Rachel. I'm a freshman in college, and this is the story of how last summer I threw my first and last house party without my parents' permission. It was easily one of the most exciting and nerve-wracking experiences of my entire life. Last summer, my parents decided to go visit a few of their old college friends in Utah for a few days. My little brother and I stayed home because it was an adult trip, but also because our dog Maxine was pregnant. They left us with just 3 instructions. No sleepovers, no parties, and take care of Maxine. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, you have to understand, normally, I'm a good girl. Honestly, I try really hard to do what my parents ask, but these were extreme circumstances. All summer, my best friends and I had been trying to figure out where we could throw the perfect party for our last hurrah. One last bash before we all split up and went to college. But nobody's parents, mine included, would let us have a party at their house, and it was already August, so we were pretty much losing all hope. We were super sad because we'd wanted to make that one last great memory before the next chapter in our lives. So the day after my parents left, my best friend Marla calls me up. "Hey Rachel, why don't we use your place for the party? It's big, beautiful, and you have a pool. It's the perfect spot." "I don't know," I told her. My parents were really clear. Nobody's allowed over. Marla's a really good persuader. Time's running out. Listen, they're gone for another 2 days. If we throw a party, they'll never know. I'll stay around afterward and help you clean up. And if you get in trouble, I'll take the blame. I promise. So, yeah. Party at Rachel's. We were gonna have it that night. Marla handled the invitations and was bringing all the food and drinks. So all I had to do was clean up and bribe my brother so he wouldn't tell. My brother is something. He promised to call my parents right then and there unless he could invite a couple of friends. I was so mad at him. I mean, who wants a bunch of freshmen at an almost college party? But eventually we agreed that they'd hang out up in his room and my friends would be downstairs and out at the pool. Marla showed up around 8 and we started to set up for the party. We blew up balloons, set up the snack table by the pool, and laid out a buttload of cheap towels from Target. At 8:45, my brother's little friends showed up and we sent them all up to his room. And then finally, it was 9:30 and our friends started showing up. It was great hanging out with all my closest friends by the pool. We were having a blast when suddenly I heard the doorbell ring. This late, that could only mean one thing. I glared at Marla. "This is supposed to be a small friends only party. Who else did you invite?" Her eyes widened. "Small friends only? I thought we decided on a big summer bash." "At my house?" I yelled, leaping to my feet and running over to the front door. I flung it open and saw like half of my senior class milling around on my front lawn. Some of them were drinking beer, a few had cigarettes, and they all wanted to get in. I was shocked and terrified that my parents would find out. How could they not? This was probably the biggest party in the history of my neighborhood. I turned back to Marla. "You are so dead," I hissed. She smiled apologetically. "Hey, the door's open," a voice yelled from the crowd. "Let's head in." I stood speechless and on the verge of tears as like 50 people flooded past me into my parents' immaculate home. As the last of the people filtered through, I made eye contact with a tall, dark-haired guy at the very back. Running over to Marla, I grabbed her sleeve and yanked her into the kitchen. "You invited Matt?" I whisper-yelled. "What the heck, Marla? I've liked him for years and now he's going to see me humiliated in front of all these people when I tell them all they have to go home. Thanks a lot." "Why would you tell them they need to go home?" Marla asked, frowning. I couldn't believe her. "Are you kidding me? There's already food dropped everywhere and beer cans in the pool. Having this many people here is going to wreck my house. There's no way on earth that my parents won't find out." Marla sighed. "Look, I think it's going to be fine, but do what you have to do." So I left the kitchen and started walking out to the pool. I felt like an idiot having to tell everyone to leave, but I knew that I couldn't let them stay and ruin our house. Then someone touched my shoulder. I turned around and there was Matt. He smiled at me and my mouth just dropped open. "Hi, Rachel," he said. I struggled to pull myself together. "Hi, Matt." He smiled again. "I think it's really cool that you're having the end of the summer party. The party's awesome and the place looks great." "Oh," I bit my lip. "Thank you." Maybe throwing the party wasn't such a bad idea. I made up my mind. I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of Matt, and I didn't want all my classmates thinking I was a loser. so I wasn't going to call off the party. I'd enjoy myself and have a good time, and when it was all over, I'd make Marla clean up all by herself. I smiled at Matt. Nothing was going to ruin this evening. "Do you want to dance?" I asked him suddenly. He looked surprised. Then he smiled at me and said sure, and we headed to the patio where the music was playing. We started to dance, and I felt like maybe he wanted to kiss me, when out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone flying down the stairs. My brother shot out of the house, looking around wildly. When he spotted me, he raced over. "Rachel," he gasped out of breath, "I need your help upstairs. It's Maxine. She's having the puppies." I couldn't believe it. How could this happen in this moment? Worst timing ever. But I had to deal with it. I grabbed my brother. "Go tell Marla to get rid of everyone. I'll head upstairs and take care of Maxine." I turned to Matt. "I'm so sorry, but the party's over. My dog's having puppies." His eyes widened. "Hey, I can help. My mom is a vet. I'll call her right now." I thanked him and rushed upstairs. All my brother's friends were clearing out of his room, and poor little Maxine was lying on her doggy bed, yelping in pain. I sat down next to her on the verge of hysterics and started rubbing her head. "Everything's gonna be all right, baby girl. I love you. Everything will be all right." 10 minutes later, Matt's mom ran up the stairs with Marla, Matt, and my brother following close behind. She pushed me gently out of the way and started to tend to Maxine. Marla hugged me. "I got everyone out. Don't worry about it." At this point, I was sobbing like a baby, so I hugged her tightly before turning to Matt's mom. "Do you need any help?" I asked. She smiled at me. "I just need you to get a bucket of warm water and a pile of towels. I can handle it from here." My brother and I followed her directions, and about an hour later, Maxine was doing wonderfully. And so were her 4 puppies. They were adorable, snoozing together, curled up against Maxine's fuzzy tummy. We all thanked Matt and his mom for coming to our rescue. Matt gave me a hug, and then he handed me a slip of paper with his number on it. I know I blushed, and promised to text him the next day. Marla helped me clean up the house, apologizing the whole time for inviting so many people. We hugged and made up, and then my brother and I went back upstairs to watch the pups. Everything was going to be all right, or so I thought. The next day, my mother called. Marla's mom had told her about the party. She was very upset, and she told me she'll deal with me once she is back. Oh my. But eventually, everything did have a happy ending. Yeah, my mom was upset at first, but she quickly got over it. After all, I helped Maxine and the puppies. Plus, I was about to leave for college, and that made her much more forgiving. Matt and I started dating, and Marla, Matt, my brother, and I each have an adorable little puppy. Mine is called Snowball because she looks like a little white fur ball. So yeah, that's the story of my house party. Sure, it was not the perfect party we had been dreaming about. The guests had to leave early, and my parents got pretty mad because of it. But Maxine gave birth to healthy puppies, and it helped me get together with Matt. So overall, I think it was a win, even though it was a crazy night. Have you ever had a party that went out of control? Share it in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing, and see you guys next time.